Now for the starting 11 for SIMA Aguilas. Goalkeeper, number 1, Richie Steinman. Defender, number 2, Alessandro Santos. Defender, number 3, Randy Mendoza. Defender, number 4, Musa Gay. Defender, number 6, Junior Wellington. Midfielder, number 5, David Drayton. Midfielder, number 8, Lapa Bruno. Midfielder, number 10, Rafa Santos. Midfielder, number 11, Atez Diop. Forward, number 7, Leonardo Narvaez. Forward, number 9, Vadim Kojakov. SIMA is head coached by Jose Silva. And now the starting 11 for Villages SC. Goalkeeper, number 22, Tim McGlynn. Defender, number 4, Eric Ganame. Defender, number 3, Yago Lopez. Defender, number 31, Van Dyke Gao. Defender, number 6, Gabriel Torres. Midfielder, number 5, William Pereira. Midfielder, number 14, Augusta Maciel. Midfielder, number 20, Douglas Dos Santos. Forward, number 8, Gabriel Cabral. Forward, number 23, Leonardo Paiva. And forward, number 11, Felipe Antonio. The Villages are head coached by Anderson De Silvia. Tonight's head referee is Brandon Adams. Assistant referees are Chris Copeland and Ben Regal. The fourth official tonight is Steve Mott. Fans, please stand if you're able and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be sung by Kira Howard.
Welcome to Irk Russell Park in Statesboro, Georgia. Tonight is the PDL Southern Conference Championship match as the Villages SC takes on SIMA Aguilas for a spot in the national semifinals next week. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart. This is actually a division matchup here, as this is the third time these two teams have played this year, with the Villages actually winning the season series. They beat SIMA 2-0 a month ago in Montverde, the only club to score more than one goal against SIMA the entire season. They also played to a scoreless draw 2 weeks before that. SIMA advancing with a 2-1 victory of Brazos Valley Calvary FC in the semifinals of the Southern Conference yesterday, while the big upset came when the Villages SC knocked off previously unbeaten South Georgia Tormenta FC in the semifinal last night. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for SIMA. And this is a squad that has gone 11-2-2 this season. Santos, Mendoza, Gay, Graydon, Wilnerton, Novias, Lapa, Santos, Kojakov, and Juff, the starting 11 for SIMA this evening. And for the Villages FC, Lopez, Ganime, Pereira, Torres, Cabral, Antonio, who scored the goal against Tormenta last night, Maciel, Paiva, their leading goal scorer with 11 goals on the season, as well as Dos Santos and Gao, the starting 11. The goalkeepers for both teams, Steinman going for SIMA tonight and McGlynn going for the Villages SC, as they did last night. And we are ready to get underway. SIMA wearing the blue tonight, and the Villages in their white uniforms, trimmed in green and gold. The Villages at 10-2-3 this season, following their victory over Tormenta FC last night. They'll drop it back for McGlynn, and he'll bid it over here to the near side. And Torres having trouble controlling it, will have a throw-in coming for SIMA right at midfield. SIMA has won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. 5 straight victories for the Villages SC. They've outscored their opponents 17-1 during that 5-game winning streak, as McGlynn has to come up and make the play. They kick it along the far sideline. Antonio unable to get to it. Antonio with the goal in the 34th minute in the first half last night, and it stood up despite a very relentless offensive barrage by Tormenta in the second half in that 1-0 victory, knocking out the host team. Tormenta had come into the matchup without a loss on the season. Gay boots it to midfield. Musa Gay, number 4, the defender for SIMA. Very impressive performance in the victory against Bravos Valley yesterday afternoon. And there's Musa right there. He's a big young man, just graduated from Montverde at 6'3". Long boot down the far sideline, chased into the corner. Scoring opportunity perhaps here for SIMA. Back into the box and booted out of bounds by the Villages FC, SC.
The following sponsors: the Clubhouse, Northland Communications, Citizens Bank of the South, and Optum Healthcare. The PDL thanks you for your support.
SIMA will take the throw in. Gets it to Rafa Santos. Santos drafted in the 4th round by DC United in the 2018 MLS Super Draft. Scored 4 goals in 12 games for SIMA this season. And Into the corner it goes. Rafa Santos chases it down. Santos working against his man, gives it to Lapa. Lapa boots it to the top of the box. Alejandro Santos there, and he cannot get to it. Now the ball headed up into the air by Novaes. We'll have our first foul as Cabral goes down. And the free kick for Villages. Torres gets it to the sideline. And Paiva loses it out of bounds. Kicked out of bounds by SIMA, so the throw-in coming for the Villages in the offensive end. Pereira will take it. Kicks it back to midfield, and Gao, as they try to swing it to the opposite side of the field. Lopez. And Gao punches it ahead for Torres. Torres gets behind Santos. Torres into the box on the left side. Drops it in front for Paiva. And off the side of his foot. So a scoring opportunity for the Villages right there, as Paiva had a chance inside the 18 but couldn't get off a clean shot. And our second foul against SIMA here tonight. Torres got the better of that physical matchup, had the whistle against him, and now the whistle goes against SIMA. Whistle goes against the Villages, pardon me, and SIMA will take the free kick. Opening 5 minutes, just underway here in Statesboro. Championship of the Southern Conference being played here tonight at Irk Russell Park. Richie Steinman, the goalkeeper for SIMA, allowed only 3 goals in 8 games this season with 26 saves, had 4 saves in the victory against Brazos Valley yesterday. Brandon Adams, our center referee tonight. Chris Copeland and Ben Regal, the assistant referees, and Steve Mott, the 4th official. Throwing at midfield for Villages. They swing it in the center to Gao. And he'll boot it back for McGlynn, who'll kick it across midfield, headed by Gay. And Gao punches it forward into the offensive end for the Villages. Musa Gay out of Senegal. Played in 8 games this season. Went 90 minutes on the pitch against Brazos Valley yesterday. Like I said before, very impressive performance by that defender. He'll start his college career at a junior college this fall. Throw in coming for SIMA. SIMA clinched a playoff berth on the final night of the regular season with a 5-0 victory over Miami City FC on Sunday night. Had they not won that match, they would not have made the playoffs, and instead the Villages SC would have been the Southeast Division champion, and the Lakewood Tropics, or Lakeland Tropics, pardon me, would have been the wild card team. So SIMA had to clinch a spot on the final night of the regular season to win the Southeast Division for a second consecutive year. Really tight competition in that Southeast Division this year, and it's played out as the ball is kicked into the box by Torres and booted out of bounds by the Villages. Really tight competition in that Southeast Division this year, with 3 teams battling for 2 spots in the playoffs all the way down to the final weekend. Lakeland Tropics being the team that got left out despite a really good season. Santos across the field to Mendoza. SIMA just kind of probing right now, looking for a crack in that Villages defense. Gay with a strong left foot, but nobody back, and it's going to go over the line. You can see Musa Gay at 6'3" is just a monster back there on that back line. It's really tough for the smaller forwards and midfielders to get around him. A real physical presence. Ninth minute here in Statesboro. SIMA, one of the toughest defenses in the entire nation, along with the Villages. SIMA allowed just 7 goals this year. The Villages just 8. Those 2 totals, top 4 in the nation in the PDL. So it'll be interesting to see, does those defenses play out here tonight as well. Villages with 32 goals scored this season, SIMA with 25. Graydon drops it back for Torres. Torres working to the left side of Mendoza. Now they'll come to the right side. Alessandro Santos up the right side. Stops and drops it back for Gay. He'll take a long, strong boot into the left corner. And a run down there and unable to save it from going out of bounds. You can see how he can really generate a counterattack right there and get behind the defense with his tremendously strong leg. A foul called on the Villages right there on the contact on Mendoza. So Mendoza will take the free kick just shy of the midfield line. Foul on Maciel.
We would like to recognize the following sponsors: Coca-Cola, Georgia Southern University, Spring Hill Suites, Rose, and Smoothie King.
Steinman will kick it to the left side now. And Mendoza will race up the left sideline. His pass intercepted at midfield. Maciel, and then stolen away by Graydon. To Santos on the right side. Santos. Novaes. And now Juff. Juff getting the start here tonight. Played 14 minutes in a substitute role in the victory against Brazos Valley yesterday. Boot to Novaes in the box. Drops it off and off the post. A powerful strike by Torres hits, or not, Lapa, pardon me, strikes off the post. And Santos is going to be taken down by Gao. And a free kick coming for SIMA just outside the box to the right. Can we see that replay again? The ball that hit the post. Lapa with a strong strike here, and it hits off the right post. Excellent scoring opportunity right there for SIMA. Just missed, squeezing it inside that right post. And now Novaes, who scored in the 35th minute against Brazos Valley yesterday. Well, he will not take the free kick. Instead, it's going to be Rafa Santos. Santos with 4 goals on the season, starred at VCU the last 4 years. Santos kicks it into the box, and it's going to be cleared by the Villages. Strong run up the sideline by Cabral, and he gets picked off. Joff chips it in there for Santos. Santos plays it off the body. And Gao is going to be called for the foul. And a yellow card for Van Dyke Gao. As Bruno Lapa got the, and that's not Lapa, pardon me, Lapa standing right there. Let's see who. Might be Torres, number 6. So Van Dyke Gao, the defenseman out of Alexandria, Virginia. Played at Richard Bland College, getting ready to enter his sophomore year. Yeah, Kozhikov is the guy who got hit by the high kick from Gao. Vadim Kozhikov, another getting the start here tonight after playing in a sub role last night, 32 minutes against Brazos Valley. The 2 changes in the starting lineup for SIMA tonight, Kozhikov and Juff getting the starts, and Agu and Espana playing in a reserve role here tonight. Espana actually scored in the 29th minute to give SIMA the 1-0 lead at the time on Brazos Valley. So Gay is going to take the free kick from about 35 yards out. Strong boot in the net. Goal for SIMA. Musa Gay from about 35 yards out, a rocket shot into the back of the net. Incredible shot by Musa Gay, the recent graduate of Montverde Academy out of the Senegal, with his first goal of the season from 35 yards out, and blasted it by Timothy McGlynn to give SIMA the 1-0 lead. Comes in the 16th minute. I think everybody was just kind of stunned by that kick, including McGlynn. But we've seen a number of times already the last 2 days in the Southern Conference playoffs the strong leg of Gay, usually with clearing shots into the offensive end, and that time on the free kick from 35 yards out. McGlynn hardly even moved as he blasted it inside the left post. So that's the first goal scored by SIMA Aguilas against the Villages SC in 3 matches here this season. Comes in the 16th minute, and it gives SIMA the 1-0 lead in the Southern Conference Championship. So for the first time over the last 2 days now, the Villages will have to play from behind. They did a really good job last night of getting the lead against Tormenta FC and then holding off an offensive barrage by South Georgia to win it. Lapa, and McGlynn has to come out there, and well, that might have been Kozhikov who actually tripped up over McGlynn. Yeah, that was Kozhikov on that run that tripped over McGlynn. So a costly yellow card for the Villages SC. It was the yellow card by Gao that resulted in that free kick taken by Gay and the goal. 19th minute, 1-0. SIMA on top. Cabral ahead to Paiva. Paiva on the left side of the box. Centers in front, and it's intercepted by Graydon. Novias will bring it up the right side. Pereira gets it. Dos Santos drops it off. Now they try to work into the defense. Great passing here by the Villages. Paiva up close. Goal! Leonardo Paiva has tied the match at 1. Great passing and footwork by the Villages on that offensive attack as they weave through the SIMA defense, and Paiva got free inside the box on the left side of Steinman and blasted it by him to tie this match at 1. Twelfth goal of the season for Leonardo Paiva, the forward out of Brazil. We are tied 1-1. And the Villages look like they're playing with renewed energy and enthusiasm here after that goal by Paiva. They get it back to Paiva again on the left side of the box, and Gay intercepts it. Ahead to Novias. Novias. Gao kicks it off his foot, rolls down towards the corner. And Mendoza will kick it back. Pardon me, that was Yagos. Yago Lopez. .22nd minute, tied at 1. And Bruno Lapa will take the corner kick for SIMA. Lapa, the midfielder out of Montfort Academy with 4 goals on the season. Played 76 minutes in the victory against Brazos Valley yesterday afternoon. Rafa Santos gets the Lapa. Lapa drops it back for Alessandro Santos. They work it around to the left side, and Mendoza chips it in with the left foot. And Gao was able to clear to midfield. Santos goes back to get it, and they give it to Gay. Graydon now, as they work it around to the left side now, Mendoza. Long run, and Kozhikov cannot run it down. (1-1), 24th minute here in the Southern Conference Championship. Ironically, we had talked about the great defense from these two sides this season, having combined surrendered only 15 goals, and we've had 2 goals scored here in the first 20 minutes. Gay in the 16th minute to give SIMA the 1-0 lead, and then Paiva the equalizer 4 minutes later. Pereira will take the kick, 3 yards shy of the midfield line. Instead, he kicks it back to Gao as they work it over to the right side now. Chipped into the box, and Santos there to intercept it. Juff to midfield, to the left side. Into the box. Kozhikov can't run it down, has it kicked off his foot. And we'll have a corner kick coming up for SIMA. This will be their first. Be their third, pardon me. SIMA with 4 in the box, up high, and Juff just over the crossbar. Great effort by Ates Juff. Member of the Orlando City Development Academy, playing for the Orlando City DA under 18 and 19 team. 3 games, he's had 2 goals, nearly had him one here in this PDL Southern Conference Championship right there. Gay comes over here to the right side, going to scoot out of bounds, and a throw-in coming for the Villages. '27th minute, tied at 1 here in Statesboro. Maciel comes to get it. Stolen away by SIMA. Graydon drops it back. David Graydon, the team captain for SIMA. Out of Dublin, Ireland, he starred in his college days at St. Louis University. He was a 3-time All-A-10 performer there with the Billikens. Finished up in 2015.
Statesboro Herald, Optum Orthopedics, and Advanced Chiropractic of Statesboro. The PDL thanks you for your support.
28th minute. Musa Gay had the stunning goal in the 16th minute on a free kick from 35 yards out, blasting it by McGlynn to get the scoring going here in this Southern Conference Championship. But the Villages able to answer just 4 minutes later on the 12th goal of the season for Leonardo Paiva. Foul will be called on the Villages. Observers talking about this match as they were gathering to watch here tonight were expecting a lot of physicality, possibly a lot of fouls called in this contest. These two teams are strong rivals in the Southeast Division, and they're playing for the third time here this season. And tonight, for the biggest stakes, a spot in the national semifinals next week. And another foul called. This one will be on SIMA. I think that's Joff. And Dos Santos, rolling around on the ground, got the brunt of that one from Joff. And there's the yellow card, and you would expect that to happen. That's what happened with the Villages when Gal had the high kick, and that resulted in the goal on the free kick by Musa Gay. So the yellow card issued to Juff. So our second yellow card of this match. One for Gal on the Villages side and one for Juff on the SIMA side. If you're wondering, SIMA stands for Soccer Institute of Montverde Academy. A powerful program out of that academy in Clermont, Florida, where the varsity boys soccer program has not lost in close to 200 matches dating back to 2010 when Mike Potempa took over as the head coach. He's the general manager of this organization. Jose Silva coaching the SIMA side in this PDL season. He's led them to 11 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. And one of those losses and one of those ties to this Villages side this season in the month of June. '31st minute.
Richie, look at Junior. Hey, Richie, play Junior, let's play.
A good look at Rafa Santos right there. Ranked the number 49 prospect in PDL. Scored 20 goals and 10 assists in his 4 seasons with VCU. A lot of pushing and shoving over on that right sideline, but the Village is able to come out of there with it. Antonio ahead to Maciel. Maciel in the box and just past the post. Augusto Maciel just missed a second goal for the Villages. And Steinman might have gotten just enough of that to push it wide of the post and out of harm's way. Steinman will kick it to the left side and intercepted by the Villages. Villages controlling the tempo right now. Ever since that goal by Paiva in the 20th minute, over the last 13 minutes or so, they have kind of controlled the tempo and kept the ball in their offensive end. Maciel battling Gay with it over in that far corner. Maciel able to come out of there with it, and now intercepted by SIMA. You can expect that we would have quite a battle between these two Southeastern Division rivals. That has been the case here in the opening 34 minutes in a 1-1 tie. After we've gotten through that initial phase of kind of probing and figuring out what everybody's doing here, things have opened up. Torres ahead across midfield. Santos unable to pass it along the sideline. Long pass across the field. Santos has it stolen away by Ganime. .36th minute. SIMA passing in the midfield area. Unable to find a crack so far in that defense. The one goal that they did score was on a 35-yard laser shot from Musa Gay. Juff into the box, and he goes down. No whistle, they play on. Santos chips it for Novaes, headed out of there by the Villages. Paiva ricochets out of bounds off of Santos.
We would like to acknowledge the following sponsors: Statesboro Magazine, Whitfield Sons, Windy King, Vehicles, and Lori Drive Photography.
Villages in the PDL playoffs for the second time in their 3-year existence, coming in 2016 and here in 2018. Ahead it goes. Antonio, who had a goal in yesterday's victory against Tormenta, couldn't run it down. A fleeting scoring opportunity right there for Felipe Antonio and the Villages. Lapa to Juff. Juff right outside the box. Juff maneuvers, fires wide of the goal. .38th minute. SIMA, second year in the PDL. 22-3-3 their record, back-to-back Southeast Division titles. Four shots for SIMA so far in this match, 2 for the Villages. Paiva at midfield. Torres. Long pass for Maciel. Working against Mendoza. Drops it for Torres. Torres kicked it. Thought that Maciel would go to the corner to get it, and he didn't. Santos. To Lapa. Over here to Novaes. Novaes on the near side. Try to spread out the offense here. Less than 5 minutes left in regulation time here in the first half. Gay with that big, strong right foot of his. Blasted across the field. He is a real weapon, and we saw him score from 35 yards out. An amazing shot that gave SIMA the early lead. Again, another strong cross field pass. Ganami comes up to head it out of bounds. Juff ends up in the box with it. Can he fire off his left foot? And it's knocked away by Gao. And he is taken down. And we will have a side throw in for SIMA and Santos. Or are they going to rule it a corner kick? So a corner coming up for SIMA. .42nd minute now in a 1-1 tie. Gay in the 16th minute for SIMA. Paiva in the 20th minute for the Villages.
Well done, Richie!
To Lapa. Lapa in the middle of the field, working against two guys, drops it over to the right side. Alessandro Santos. Santos kicks to the corner. Novaes. They're going to rule that a goal kick. .43rd minute. McGlynn to midfield and headed by Gay. Torres heads it back across midfield. Paiva. Stolen away by Gay. And throw in will go to SIMA. 44th minute. Lapa trying to argue his case with Brandon Adams here. Free kick put in by SIMA. Wellington. Final seconds of regulation here in the first half. Ahead to Santos. Santos runs it down in the right corner. And they'll rule it a goal kick again. SIMA thinking that they were going to get a corner there. We've completed the 45 minutes of regulation. Steve Mott, the fourth official, has awarded 1 minute of stoppage time here at the first half.
Fans, please refrain from smoking inside of Kirk Russell Park. Failure to comply will result in removal from the stadium.
Closing in on the final seconds of stoppage time. Only 1 minute given here, and that will be the end of the first half. 45 minutes plus 1 minute of stoppage time in the books here. And a 1-1 tie at the end of one half in the PDL Southern Conference Final was SIMA and the Villages tied at 1. The 35-yard blast from Musa Guy in the 16th minute gave SIMA the early lead, but 4 minutes later, Leonardo Paiva off his left foot at point-blank range blasted it by Steinman for the 1-1 tie. One of 4 conference championships being played across the nation here tonight. Chris Madden of the PDL going to join us here in a few moments at halftime to talk about some of the other finals being played in the conference championships. Look at the stats from the first half. 9 fouls apiece. 4 shots for SIMA, 2 for the Villages. 4 corners for SIMA, none for the Villages. And 1 offsides call against SIMA in that first half. Let's send it down to Stephanie Matzel standing by with Coach Jose Silva.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Matzel, and I'm here with Jose Silva, the head coach for SIMA. So there's been a lot of action on the field tonight. Can you just tell me your thoughts on the first half?
It was a really good first half. It was a lot of intensity. We started in the beginning to put our identity on the field, being the main team in the field. We scored, but we made a mistake and we dropped our lines. They scored, and after we recover the control of the game, and little by little we have to try to get more opportunities.
Okay, so what will you guys do during halftime to gain the lead in the second half?
So we have to analyze together the opponent, and we have to continue being patient with the ball and trying to defend forward, because it's what we believe and it's the thing that makes us to be here.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. Thank you.
And it's halftime here. 1-1 the score. Will come back in Statesboro, Georgia in just a moment.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
At Georgia Southern University, we're setting the standard for higher education in Southeast Georgia on 3 exciting campuses in Savannah, Statesboro, and Hinesville. We're offering more opportunities for hands-on learning, more ways to help our students find a career, and more economic impact on our region. At Georgia Southern University, discover more, connect more, be more. Florida and South Carolina residents get in-state tuition at our Armstrong and Liberty campuses.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Surgery Center, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation by calling 912-629-3560. Experience the Optum difference.
Whatever you do, we do internets. Right now, you can get speeds up to 100 megs. Internet packages starting as low as $29.99 a month. Call 1-888-Northland or visit getnorthland.com today.
And back in Statesboro, 1-1 in the Southern Conference Championship. SIMA and the Villages SC, joined here by Chris Madden. He is the PDL's Director of Competition and Development. And thanks a lot for being with us. Yeah. First of all, your thoughts on what we've had, what we've seen this entire weekend with the 2 semifinals last night here in Statesboro in the first half of this final.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to just mention big thanks to Tormenta, Darren Van Tassel, for putting on and hosting all of this for our Southern Conference here. I mean, it's been absolutely top class, from having somewhere to host the players, having somewhere to feed the players, just the facility here in general, the setup, everything has just been, again, top class.
Yeah, and tough for them because they were eliminated last night in an upset. It was their first loss of the season, but for them to come out and stage the final here tonight, which was part of their responsibilities, but a tough job nonetheless, and they've done a great job.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Tell us what your job is as the Director of Development and Competition in the PDL.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2-part there. One part for the competition side. I help organize the competition structure from coast to coast, whether that be schedule setting, kind of deciding what the playoff structure is going to look like, all those types of things. I also deal with the discipline, so that's not so fun.
You're not the good, so you're the bad guy.
Right. You can point to me. So I sit there and I work on accumulations for yellow cards, red cards, hand out suspensions. Obviously work with the discipline committee on how severe the suspensions are going to be, and kind of work on that one. And then on the development side, I look on the long-term stuff for PDL in general. So working with our teams on growing their own businesses, what it's going to look like 10 years, even 3 years, 5 years now, where the PDL is going. So
well, let's tackle a couple of those things right there. PDL currently has 74 teams, so kind of short-term and then long-term plans for the PDL and its structure and teams in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the greatest thing about soccer right now in the United States, especially at the PDL level, is it's growing and growing like crazy. you know, we're going to see that the fruits of the World Cup, you know, the excitement from it's just going to continue to grow, and the PDL is going to fit into that area of being a local place for you to go and watch soccer like this and engage with your community and guys that are really on their way to, you know, path to pro and on their way up. And really that's what we're all about, and that's what the PDL is about, and that's what we're going to continue to be for the next 5-10 years.
The other question, you mentioned the playoff structure, so we are in the midst of the conference championships. There'll be 4 teams after tonight's conference championships playing in the national semifinals, and then 2 weeks from now in the national final. So how will that be determined, you know, who plays where and how the seedings will be?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we're looking at a lot of different scenarios right now. Mostly the way that we try to set it is geographic distance is a big factor. You know, if we're talking about a team from the West Coast coming all the way to play Red Bull, when we can pair them with someone that's going to be a little bit closer, that's going to make a little bit more sense. And traditionally in the past, just the way it's worked out, Central Conference most likely will end up playing the Western Conference, and the Eastern Conference plays the Southern Conference.
And right now we have one other conference final in action. Reading United FC leading 2-1 on New York Red Bulls under 23. And Reading, one of the 3 teams coming into the weekend that was undefeated, Des Moines being the other. Tormenta was one of them, and they got eliminated. Des Moines is also playing in the Central Conference Championship tonight against Chicago, and out west Calgary and Tucson as well.
That's right.
So, Chris, thanks a lot for being with us. Do appreciate it. Chris Madden is the PDL's Director of Competition and Development. We'll continue here with halftime from Statesboro right after this timeout.
Best tailgate, brisket.
No, real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings. Dude, subs.
Hot dogs.
Chili dog.
No, Dodger dog.
It's gotta be crawfish.
Now you're talking. Burgers.
7-layer dip. Ribs. No contest.
Hummus.
What?
You need a hot grill.
And ice cold Coke.
Of course.
Football and Coke. Come on.
It's got to be Coke.
Game day. Race day.
Calls for Coke. You know it.
Grab yourself a Coke.
It's Tailgate 101.
At Georgia Southern University, we're setting the standard for higher education in Southeast Georgia on 3 exciting campuses in Savannah, Statesboro, and Hinesville. We're offering more opportunities for hands-on learning, more ways to help our students find a career, and more economic impact on our region. At Georgia Southern University, discover more, connect more, be more. Florida and South Carolina residents get in-state tuition at our Armstrong and Liberty campuses.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Surgery Center, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation by calling 912-629-3560. Experience the Optum difference.
Here at the Spring Hill Suites Marriott Statesboro, our suites are 25% larger than standard hotel rooms. Each of our 113 spacious rooms includes a deluxe continental breakfast with plenty of hot and cold options to satisfy every appetite. Spend time in our fitness center, our pool, or at the fire pit. We're conveniently located near Georgia Southern University, the Kiwanis-Ogeechee Fairgrounds, Ogeechee Technical College, and the Gateway Industrial Park.
And you are watching the Southern Conference Championship from Statesboro. We are tied at 1. Chris Madden continues on with us here, the PDL's Director of Competition and Development. And I was wondering, you know, we just finished up with the World Cup, a fabulous World Cup in Russia, very exciting. The United States was not a part of it, unfortunately. But what do you feel like ultimately what we just saw over the last couple of weeks, how that is going to play out as far as grassroots here in the United States and the growth of soccer?
Yeah, great question. I mean, one thing about these types of players, these age group of players, they like to call them the Zone 3 type players, the late bloomers. You know, you think of like the Jordan Morris, you know, impact players that really weren't found out until much later. In fact, Jordan Morris played in the PDL and, you know, played up in there. So ultimately, this type of platform in the PDL is perfectly placed to help identify those types of players and give them the types of opportunities that they need to get those meaningful minutes, to continue to develop, to continue to be seen by those pro type of environments and atmospheres and really just expose them to what it's like to be a pro.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess for those who might be watching and don't even understand exactly what the Premier Development League is, it is generally speaking, not entirely, but generally speaking, it's current college players or recently graduated college players who are looking for that next step in order to get that pro contract.
That's right.
And it's done it's done very well. There's 74 teams across the country. How do cities, how do communities end up getting franchises?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a multitude of different types of business models and things that we look for when we're trying to set a franchise. And you can go anywhere from a case for SIMA where they have a great youth structure sitting right under them, and they're looking to just put the top of that pyramid on top and really give those players an opportunity. And then you have an opportunity like the Villages here. And in fact, it was an owner that has a great passion for soccer, a great passion for supporting the Villages community, and was reaching out to the PDL to have his own team in his own backyard, and ultimately
for some entertainment for the community.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah. And it's a great story for the Villages. I mean, they have a 55+ community that they all enjoy going out to the game and engaging with them. So it's just great for everybody involved, and you can tell. I mean, they drove all the way here.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You're right. It really is a real contrast. The Villages, which is kind of a quote-unquote retirement community in the state of Florida, and then you have SIMA, which is Montverde, is on the opposite end of the spectrum. They have 6 players on their roster who are under 18 years of age.
Yep, which is unbelievably exciting for the PDL and just everybody out here.
Tell us a little bit about the franchise like Reading, United FC, and Des Moines, those 2 teams that are undefeated, have had spectacular seasons. I would have to think those teams are probably considered favorites to, maybe get to the championship and play in the final.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, a lot of the undefeated teams that go on, especially in the PDL playoffs, it's always a surprise. We sit there and we try to determine, who we think or who has most likely chances to advance, and it's always a surprise every year. So guys like Reading, their affiliation with Bethlehem Steel and Philadelphia Union, they're the PDL team associated there, have done a really good job. And I know Coach Alan McCann has been working really hard over there to kind of facilitate an environment, not only to push his players in their path to pro, but ultimately, go after a PDL championship, and they're definitely they're on their way.
And how is and not all of the sides have affiliations with USL or even with MLS, but there are some that do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a bunch of them really in general. We have LA Galaxy and San Diego Zest. They have their affiliation over there. We have FC Tucson, which has affiliation with Phoenix. USL teams, MLS teams. You have a whole multitude of scouting networks that are out there to help these players go on, and PDL is the only league across the nation that can say that, that has those direct pathways to professional ranks.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thanks again for being with us, and best of luck with PDL as you guys get ready for the national semifinals next week. Let's send it back down to Stephanie Matzel. She's standing by with the Villages head coach, Anderson De Silva.
Hello, I'm here with Anderson De Silva, the head coach for the Villages. So can you just tell me your first thought or your thoughts on the first half of the game?
Yeah, sure. It was a very compact game. They were able to score out of a free kick, and right after our team started to pressure them a little bit, and we were fortunate to get the tie. So it was we didn't have too much danger against us, but they still were able to keep possession, and we're looking to turn this around in the second half.
Okay, is there anything you guys discussed during halftime that will help you gain the lead?
Yes, I think we change our formation to kind of neutralize them in wide areas, and we're going to pressure them in the back so then we can have an opportunity to score the winning goal.
Okay, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
And we're ready to start the second half, as Coach De Silva will make his way around the field and over to his side. 1-1 as we begin the second half of play here in the PDL Southern Conference Championship. Again, SIMA in the blue here tonight, and the Villages in the white, trimmed in green and gold. Kind of a recap of where we are right now. Goals by Gay in the 16th minute, giving SIMA the 1-0 lead. 4 minutes later, the answer by Paiva in the 20th minute. And that's where we stand right now at 1-1. as we start the second 45 minutes. And you heard us talking with Chris Madden there at halftime from the PDL, and not a guarantee by any means, but would not be a stretch of the imagination to think that the winner of this matchup will be in the national semifinals next Saturday against a team like Reading United FC that is undefeated on the season. Of course, the Villages knocked South Georgia Tormenta FC from the ranks of the unbeaten last night. So when you get to this level, when you get down to the final 8 as we are here tonight, the final 4 next Saturday, anything can happen. Two shots for the Villages, 4 for SIMA in that first half. 4 corners for SIMA, none for the Villages in the first half. 9 fouls apiece. And the 1 offsides for SIMA in that first half as well, as we run through the stats from the first 45 minutes. Antonio loses it out of bounds. Quick throw in by SIMA. Wellington will kick it over here to the near side, and Santos, Rafa Santos. In the middle to Lapa. Lapa has it taken off his foot. Lapa goes down. They play on, no whistle. Paiva with his left foot to the left side. And Torres. Torres fires over the crossbar. Richie Steinman, the goalkeeper for SIMA out of Utrecht, Holland. Mendoza. Joff. Wellington. And Gay to the right side. SIMA wanted a push off right there, didn't get the whistle. Santos. You hear him calling Rafa's name. Rafa wanted to chip it back door to Mendoza. Stolen away by Dos Santos. He goes down. And the foul will be called on SIMA. Down the right sideline for SIMA. In contact. No whistle as the ball goes over the inline.
Corner kick for SIMA.
A corner kick. This will be the 5th of the night for SIMA. Santos will take it from the far corner. Seven minutes into the second half, 52nd minute here. Into the box, headed by Lapa. And McGlynn is there to get it. Joff between two defenders goes down. No whistle. They play on. Streaking down the left side of the box. And fires into the side of the net and beyond it. I think we might have our first substitution. I think that is Lopez that might be going to the sideline. So Yago Lopez, I believe, will come out. Played 90 minutes last night, has gone the first 54 minutes of this one. And Brandon Bartel subs in for him. That'll be the first substitution for the Villages tonight. And we have a second substitution. Macias has also come in, I believe. So Alvaro Macias and Brandon Bartel now in the match for the Villages. To get some fresh legs, Macias played only 4 minutes last night. Bartel went 32 minutes. Gay to Juff, and Juff is taken down. And there'll be a foul and a free kick right there. Foul on Cabral. So the free kick coming up here for Gay, again, remember, he scored from about this same length in the first half, just on the other side of the field. A very dangerous weapon. Remember, he scored from about 35 yards out. This might be a tad bit closer, maybe 32. Right in the middle. Can he do it again? Musa Gay. And knocked down. It's still out in front and knocked away. Wow. Musa Gay, what a weapon. As McGlynn just did get in front of that. And he might have been injured on the play. And Lapa was, or Kozhikov, pardon me, was closing fast and nearly was able to bang home the deflection. Wow, another dangerous free kick by Musa Gay, who scored in the 16th minute and nearly scored again here in the 56th. On that blast, on that free kick, McGlynn was able just to knock it down, but he wasn't able to cover it. And Kozhikov was closing in on it fast and nearly gave SIMA the lead. Back the other way. The Villages now in the box. Antonio, shot, save by Steinman. So a couple of really good opportunities back-to-back here in the span of about 90 seconds. But we stay tied 1-1. Welnilton heads it into the air. And SIMA controls it and kicks it into the offensive end. You see the sweat bouncing off of Gao's head as he has back-to-back headers. And a takedown right in front of the SIMA bench. It's Paita. Paiva, who was slow to get up for the Villages. So the free kick upcoming here for the Villages right in front of their bench. And again, foul right in front of the Villages bench. And Paiva, who was the recipient of the foul, was the one who committed it this time. Rafa Santos works his way to the middle of the field, has it stolen away. Ahead, and great play by Steinman to come up and boot it away. Ganymede. Head to Maciel. Maciel to Bartel. Ganny May pushes it into the box, no one there to get it. I believe he was intending that for Antonio. Less than 30 minutes now left on the regulation clock in this Southern Conference final. Tied at 1. First half goals by Gay for SIMA and Paiva for the Villages. Ahead to Santos. Rafa Santos trying to shovel the ball ahead to Mendoza and off of the Villages. Off ahead to Lapa. Lapa to the right side. They play on, play very physical right now with no whistles. Schuff to Mendoza. Mendoza to Santos. Santos trying to work around the defender. Intercepted by Bartel. Graydon in the middle. In the circle. Lapa to the right side. Juff. Two defenders around him. Works through traffic. Gets off a shot with the left foot wide of the goal. Timothy McGlynn, the goalkeeper for the Villages out of Jacksonville, Florida. Will be a rising fifth-year senior at Southern New Hampshire this year. '64th minute.
SIMA coming off number 10, Rafa Santos. Coming on number 18, Elijah Agu.
Elijah Agu will check in for SIMA. Rafa Santos comes off. Agu, who played 90 minutes in the win against Brazos Valley. A couple of shots in that 2-1 victory yesterday. Two-time All-Colonial Athletic Association out of Elon University. Long crossing kick. Controlled to the left of the box. In front for Antonio. Antonio, Graydon breaks it up. Counterattack, SIMA, and he goes down at midfield. And a yellow card.
Yellow card has been issued to SIMA. Correction, yellow card for the Villages.
Yellow card was issued to Cabral. Wellington's pass is intercepted. Maciel across midfield. And a Villages player goes down without contact. Maciel is holding his right knee. It didn't look like there was contact immediately. Might have been some contact prior. He seemed to indicate as Wellington came to check on him that they might have hit knees. He's rubbing the inside of his right knee. I think he and Wellington may have collided there, and he was able to go a few strides and then collapsed. Clock ticks close to 67 minutes now. So Maciel, Augusto Maciel, one of 3 players on this Villages side who either have played or are still playing at the University of Charleston in West Virginia. Maciel played there through the 2015 season.
We would like to acknowledge the following sponsors: Lee Hill and Johnson's Insurance, Queensboro Bank, Seasons Japan, Village Odell and Associates. The PDL thanks you for your support.
We might have another substitution here. This would be the 3rd for the Villages. Maciel looks like he's coming off the field. And he is. So that'll be the 3rd substitution for the Villages. So Maciel goes off, and Fernando Argolo checks in for him. Argolo played only 1 minute in yesterday's victory against Tormenta. On the left side of the box, a charge by the Villages is thwarted by SIMA as it's kicked out of bounds. Contact as Juff is shoved down, no play, no whistle, they play on. Bartel, chip into the box, and the shot is deflected away. Shot by Cabral was deflected away. Villages keeps it in play over on the far side. Long blast all the way through, wow. And Steinman has to get down off his feet to block it. Here come the Villages on the left side of the box looking for a centering pass. And Gay is back there to break up the dribble. Kozhikov has it kicked out of bounds by the Villages, and so the throw-in coming for SIMA right in front of the Villages bench. 71st minute. Wellington ahead to Agu. Agu as a substitution here in the second half. Graydon. I think we're going to have a substitution here for SIMA. This will be their second. Santos comes out. And DeAnthony Brown, number 12, checks in. So a second substitution for SIMA. 3 have been made by the Villages. "17 minutes left in regulation time as the clock ticks over the 73-minute mark. 1-1 SIMA with a goal in the 16th minute by Gay. Correction by me on the substitution with Santos coming out. I had said that was DeAnthony Brown. That was 12 on the previous roster, 12 on tonight's roster, Jelani Forbes. A young man that they're very excited about, plays for the U.S. National Under-17 team, a member of the Orlando City Development Academy. So a chance for us to see Jelani Forbes here tonight wearing number 12. The 12 in the white uniforms last night was DeAnthony Brown. The 12 tonight in the blue, Jelani Forbes. You hear the Villages SC fans cheering, "Let's go Buffalo." That's their mascot. '76th minute, 14 minutes left in regulation time here. 1-1 in the Southern Conference Final. You heard David Graydon say, "He kicked me." They play on, and contact down in the corner. David Graydon, their captain, still discussing things with Brandon Adams, the center referee.
I'd like to thank the following sponsors: Statesboro Plastic Surgery, Bellhop Smoothing, Edenfield Cox, Bruce and Edenfield Ball, YMCA, and Sullivan Group HR.
Yeah, they're going to bring the... Well, they put the ball in play now. I thought they were going to bring it back to midfield. Juff in the midst of traffic. They hit Agu, and Agu couldn't come up with it. They play on. Ahead, long run, and it's stopped by Steinman as he was able to grab the bounce as Antonio was charging him hard. Forbes drops it off for Agu. Agu being held. And Agu's going to get a free kick. So a free kick coming up here for SIMA. From left of the goal, Lapa will take it. About 30 yards out. Lapa chips it up for Gay. The header into the hands of McGlynn. Graydon back across midfield in the center, gives it up to Lapa. To Juff. Juff in the open, in the center, takes a strong shot, hit the post. Now Forbes scoots it ahead, intercepted by the Villages. And now Antonio in the box. Antonio right in front, and it's cleared by SIMA. Now field end-to-end action. And Gao was able to step up and clear it.
And sticking out after tonight's game for our Powerade Player of the Match interview, brought to you by ME Marketing.
Third substitution for SIMA. Wow. That laser shot by Juff right off the post. As SIMA missed an opportunity to take the 2-1 lead. Now back to live action. And Graydon, contact there. As Cabral goes down, no whistle. Juff in the center. Juff again, this time right on McGlynn. Juff has twice now challenged McGlynn in the last couple of moments. Angel España has come in. He scored a goal in the 29th minute yesterday against Brazos Valley. So SIMA looking for some late offense here to try to snap this 1-1 tie. Antonio rolls it out in front and an easy stop by Steinman. 82nd minute. Bartel. Antonio. Antonio gives it up to Macias. And now SIMA. Contact, a hard collision right there. No whistles, they play on. Both were playing the ball. So Lapa came off when España came on. Both teams have made 3 substitutions here in the second half. You can hear the decidedly pro, the Villages Buffalo crowd pulling for their side here in this championship match. We're in the 83rd minute with now less than 7 minutes left in regulation. Ahead it comes to Kozakov, and Gal will go back to get it for the Villages.
Substitution for SIMA. Coming off, number 8, Apa Bruni. Coming on, number 17, Angel España.
Villages punches ahead. Just outside the box, shoots wide of the goal. So Guderi, I believe, has substituted in for Novias for SIMA. 84th minute. 4th substitution out of 6 allowed.
Coming off, number 7, Leonardo Novias. Coming on, number 15, Sammy Guderi.
So 4 of a possible 6 substitutions now for SIMA. No substitutions allowed in extra time. So any changes that the head coaches want to make, they will have to make here in regulation or stoppage time if we do indeed go to extra time. Wellington down for SIMA right now. He has played every minute of these last 2 matches, back-to-back nights here. Semifinals yesterday, a 2-1 victory over Brazos Valley, and now here tonight against the Villages. And both sides take the opportunity to get a splash of water. See if Wellington's going to stay on. Played 90 minutes yesterday, has played the 85 here so far tonight, and he's still on the pitch. This no doubt is going to be adding to our stoppage time, and I think Wellington is going to come off now. And this will be the 5th substitution for SIMA. Well, I don't think he has. I think he just had to step to the sideline. They're not going to sub for him here. He just had to step to the sideline, and now he'll be allowed to return in just a moment. Ahead it comes to Antonio. Antonio in the side of the left box had a man out in front, chips it out in front, and over the crossbar as Wellington comes back on. Village is just missing a scoring opportunity here in the 86th minute. We stay tied at 1. That happened while Wellington was on the sideline because of the injury timeout, because the trainer had come out. He had to come off the field, and they made that charge while he was on the sideline. He's now back out there now. We have a whistle going against the Villages. Or going against SIMA. Which one here? It'll be against SIMA. Cabral streaking ahead, gets it back. Cabral now in the box. And the Villages fires high over the crossbar. Second time they've misfired above the crossbar. Hard to read the number on that. The white uniform is so dirty. That might have been Paiva. Long boot by Steinman across midfield. And a throw-in coming for SIMA. 88th minute. Less than 2 minutes left on the regulation clock. SIMA on the right side of the box, chips in there and cleared away by the Villages. Approaching the 89th minute. Ahead to Agu. Agu gets by his man. Agu stops, reverses direction. Has Forbes below him. And now Agu backing up. 2 defenders in front of him. Tries to go between the 2 of them and can't. Was looking for a foul, doesn't get it. Macias battling for it. Out to Forbes. Forbes as the clock hits the 90-minute mark. Tackle at midfield, they play on. Macias to Bartel on the right side. Bartel in the box, being checked by Forbes. He goes down, no whistle, and they play on. Here come the Villages again. 4 minutes of stoppage time. As it comes ahead to McGlynn. And a SIMA player down in front of the Villages bench. 4 minutes of stoppage time awarded here. See Anderson De Silva discussing things with the referee, Brandon Adams. 1-1, goals by Musa Gay for SIMA in the 16th minute. The answer by Leonardo Pava 4 minutes later in the 20th minute. And those goals have stood up. 1-1 tie. Jelani Forbes, the young man on the U.S. National Under-17 team, out here getting some valuable and important minutes in the second half for SIMA. We are in our 4 minutes of stoppage time. Ball goes back to Steinman. Antonio right there in front of him makes him pick it up. Steinman boots it away across midfield. España battling for the ball. España, a second half substitution here. Gets it to Forbes. Forbes over in the left corner. Chips it out in front. It's going to be cleared by the Villages. Macias streaking down the left sideline. Can they run it down? They get to it. Now reverses direction. Punches it into the box and it's booted away. Antonio streaking down the middle of the field and right into the box was intended for that pass. SIMA, ball goes off them, out of bounds, right in front of the Villages bench. And a yellow card has been issued. I believe this might be for Graydon. And David Graydon has picked up his 6th yellow card of the season. And that is the end of regulation time.
That is the end of regulation. Your score, SIMA 1, Villages SC 1. Extra time will begin shortly.
1-1 as we go to extra time, 2 15-minute halves. Not sudden death, but 2 15-minute halves to be played both in their entirety. And then if we don't have a winner at that point, we'll go to PKs to decide the Southern Conference Championship and a spot in the national semifinals next Saturday. We now know that Reading United FC has advanced as the Eastern Conference champions. A 2-1 winner over New York Red Bulls U23 tonight. And although not a guarantee, it would seem highly likely that the winner of this match would be matched up against Reading United FC in the national semifinals next week. The other action tonight in the Central Conference, Des Moines playing host to Chicago United. And in the Western Conference, it'll be Calgary versus Tucson. Take a look back at the highlights from the first half. That was the post shot. SIMA missed a golden opportunity to score. This resulted in the free kick by Musa Gay and a laser shot from 35 yards out. And then Paiva from point blank blasted it by Steinman. Those are 2 goals coming in the 16th and in the 20th minutes, but there's been other opportunities in this match tonight. Just past the post. And then a great save on the shot by Gay right there as McGlynn just got in front of it. Steinman able to get in front of that one. And again, that one headed for the post, and Steinman stopped it. Fabulous games by both of these. Joff hit the post as SIMA just missed an opportunity right there for their second goal. And then a wide open net and cleared by SIMA. We've had end-to-end action for 90 minutes, and now we go to extra time. Tied at 1. Third meeting between these two Southeast Division rivals this season. They've battled all season long, only appropriate that they would battle into extra time here for the Southern Conference Championship. They played June 5th at the Villages, a scoreless draw. They played June 20th at Montverde, and a 2-0 victory for the Villages. The Villages, the only team the entire season to score more than 1 goal against SIMA in a match this year. But when it came down the stretch, it was SIMA that actually won the Southeast Division title, clinching the berth and a spot in the playoffs. Had they not won that match, not only would they not have won the division, they would not have been in as the wild card because of the tiebreakers. They had to win that match just this past Sunday night against Miami City FC just to make the playoffs. They won the division. That knocked the Villages down from the division champion to the wild card, but they find themselves here once again playing each other for the third time, and now we go to extra time to decide this Southern Conference Championship. So 15-minute halves coming up, and they'll swap sides so both sides get to kick at the different goals. And it is not a sudden death situation here in these overtimes. So we've got another 30 minutes of extra time coming up here. There's a decidedly pro the Villages audience here tonight. The Villages in Northeast Florida. SIMA, Montverde Academy a little bit farther south in Clermont, Florida. And these two Florida rivals playing here in Statesboro, Georgia. 8 total shots for SIMA. The Villages was 6, 4 fouls each in that second half. Only 1 corner in that second half. And that for SIMA, they've had 2 in this game. Not a lot of corner kicks, obviously. So the total shot count now, SIMA with 12 and the Villages with 8. SIMA kicked ahead for Juff. Juff tried to punch it past the defender and run it down and could not as McGlynn comes up to make the save. Kozhikov, man down for SIMA, is Agu. And I couldn't tell whether there was contact or Agu is perhaps suffering from a cramp. He was a second-half substitution, but apparently there was some contact. I just didn't see what happened. So Agu is walking that off, and there'll be a kick coming up for SIMA over on the far side. Elijah Agu, you saw him right there, number 18. A strong kick into the box and headed out by the Villages, but kept alive by SIMA. España. And the Villages finally clear it out. Kicks ahead for Antonio. Antonio working against his man goes down. And they'll play on. The quick throw in coming for SIMA. Quickly to Antonio. As the defense not set for SIMA, but they're able to intercept the pass. The Villages almost caught SIMA sleeping on defense right there. Now here comes the Villages again over on the right side. Stolen away by Agu. Boots it up to midfield. McGlynn will have to come out and kick it back. And Gay heads it forward. Offsides. I believe that's only the second offsides call we've had in this match. Had a very controversial offsides call last night in the Tormenta loss that cost them a goal had it called back. Joff will chip to España, the intended target, and headed out of bounds by the Villages. España, dangerous goal scorer out of Los Angeles. He's essentially scored 3 goals this season in less than a match and a half. Juff, his shot deflected. And Gao will kick it. It's going to ricochet off of the Villages and out of bounds. So another throw-in coming for SIMA. Mendoza will take it. Gets it into España. Mendoza with the left foot. Crosser into the box. Agu heads it, and it's stopped by McGlynn. Elijah Agu was able to get up high for the header, but McGlynn was able. That looks like that kick, goal kick, is now deflected away, and now Agu another chance for SIMA right here on the missed kick. Joff in the box with the left foot, fires over the crossbar. So SIMA really applying the pressure here in this first extra period of overtime. And I was not quite sure what happened, but it looked like McGlynn on his goal kick kicked it into the back of his own teammate, and that set up that rally right there and the almost goal by Agu, pardon me. Ahead it comes. Cabral couldn't get to it. And a throw-in coming here for the Villages right at midfield. Torres will take it. Paiva gets it right back after the throw-in. Paiva with the footwork. He goes down in the midst of traffic. Ball goes into the box. And Steinman had to come out and make a sliding save. So a couple of near misses for both sides here in the first period of overtime. Graydon streaking through all the way to the box. Graydon drops it off for Juff to Spagna. Fires and deflected away. Ball still in the box. Fires again. Goal! SIMA! And an offsides call will negate the goal. Sammy Guderi put it in the back of the net, but offsides the call. Well, Guderi shot it, but the goal would have been deflected right there. That was the offsides call right there. And you hear the screams of pain by Iago Lopez. And that was Juff. And they're going to call for the trainer to come out and tend to Iago Lopez. No. So Iago Lopez being helped to his feet. Lopez has played every minute of the last two nights, and they'll make the substitution for Lopez right here. This will be the fourth substitution for the Villages. So Iago Lopez comes out. Linval de Costa, the midfielder out of Northampton, England, will check in. He played only 1 minute last night in the victory over Tormenta.
Substitution for the Villages. Coming off, number 11, Felipe Antonio. Coming on, Linval de Costa.
So Felipe Antonio is the one that came off in the substitution with De Costa. Race for the ball is won by the Villages. Head to Agu.
Substitution for SIMA. Coming off, number 11, Atez Diaz. Coming on, number 16, Jordan Bender.
So Jordan Bender has now substituted in for Atez Juff. Gay boots it out of play. And a throw-in coming for the Villages over on the far side. Approaching the 11th minute of our first extra time period. Steinman will take the goal kick. Across midfield. Nagu goes down. Now Kozhikov goes down. Nagu back on his feet, battling for the ball at midfield, and I believe a foul is going to be called on him. Villages back in play to the right side of the box. Forbes over there battling on defense. Gets in and goal kick as the ball goes over the end line. España on the charge for SIMA. España again, back to Mendoza. Mendoza shovels it into the box. Chip out in front, and it's going to be cleared by the Villages. Long shot to the wide of the post. Inside of the post on the long shot by Guderi. Approaching the 14th minute of this first 15-minute extra time. Number 16, Jordan Bender, who had subbed in here. Another one of the young up-and-coming stars on this SIMA side. Member of the U.S. National Boys Under-16 team with the header right there from Bender. So Bender and Forbes, two of the bright young stars, chips ahead for Paiva. Paiva out in front. Goal! Villages! Paiva with the assist and the goal by Macias. And the Villages in extra time has taken a 2-1 lead. Tremendous job setting up the goal by Paiva out in front to Macias, and a stunning 2-1 lead for the Villages here in extra time.
Goal assisted by number 23, Leonardo Paiva.
In the 14th minute of extra time, the 104th minute of the match. The goal by Macias, his second of the season. And the Villages with a 2-1 lead now on SIMA. Remember, the last two PDL champions have been wild card teams. The Villages, the wild card team here in the Southern Conference in these 2018 playoffs. They are now just 15 minutes away. Give a few minutes of stoppage time from playing in the national semifinals. And that is the end of the first extra time. The goal by Alvaro Macias on the assist by Leonardo Paiva, giving the Villages a 2-1 lead here at the end of the first extra time.
The Villages SC 2, SIMA 1.
And the Villages could be now just 15 minutes away from a matchup against another unbeaten team next week in the national semifinals. Last night, they beat one of the three remaining unbeaten, South Georgia Tormenta FC, in the Southern Conference semifinals. If they can hold on and win here, they will face another unbeaten team in all likelihood in the national semifinals, Reading United FC, the Eastern Conference champion, with a 2-1 win over New York Red Bulls under 23 tonight. So we'll see if SIMA can recover now. What a devastating blow to give up that goal in extra time. As we take a look at the highlights here from the first extra time, the save by McGlynn. And there was the offsides call. But then the goal by Macias on the assist by Paiva. And the 2-1 lead for the Villages. So we're ready to start our second extra time. And we start the second extra time with the Villages SC leading SIMA Aguilas 2-1. Headed up into the air, dangerous play. And we have a whistle right out in front. And Koshikov is going to be called for the foul. Line drive kick, going to go all the way through to Steinman. Quickly gets it out of there. Is now time in the essence for SIMA, down a goal here in the second extra time. Espana gives it up to Forbes. Forbes quickly to Agu. Musa Gay with the only goal for SIMA tonight, on a free kick in the 16th minute from 35 yards out. Mendoza goes down. And he'll take the free from right in front of his own bench. Gay gives it up to Espana. Espana shovels it over to Agu. Agu just outside the box, very quick feet, sliding tackle, pushes it away. Back in it comes, wrestling for the ball in the corner. Agu loses it over the end line. But they will call this a corner. Apparently the Villages touched it last. This will be the 7th corner for SIMA. Forbes. Guderi through the box and over it. The 108th minute. We are in our second extra time with the Villages SC leading SIMA 2-1. And here come the Villages again. Paiva couldn't run it down over there. SIMA quickly gets it back in play. Up to España. Across midfield. España working on his own. Now gives it up, gets it back. España on the right side. Cuts towards the box. All the way through traffic. Couldn't get it there. It was stolen away by the Villages. But Graydon comes up to greet it. Agu to Forbes. Forbes. And contact. They play on. No whistle. And the ball will hug the sideline and finally go out of bounds at midfield. Agu, throw in to Graydon. SIMA looking for the equalizer. Goes all the way back. Steinman has to come out to get it. Mendoza will throw it in. And a man down for the Villages. This is a cramp. I believe that might be Iago Lopez, who's been shaken up a couple of times in this match. Yep. And Lopez is going to come off for a moment. Since the trainer went out there, they're going to make him step off for a moment. So the Village is a man down right now while Lopez is on the sideline. Goes through and covered by McGlynn. Falls onto it and just kind of laid on it like he's dead tired. No doubt a lot of fatigue. They've played a lot of soccer over the last 2 nights, back-to-back here, and big games too. And a whistle. And did they issue a yellow? Let's see where they're going to spot this free kick. So Graydon will take it with his left foot to the right side of the box from about 28 yards out. Maybe a little bit further. Graydon chips it into the box, up there, headed, and over the goal. Our 112th minute. Villages on their side. Headed. Steinman has to come out and get it after Paiva put it on the mark. Paiva's kit soaked in mud and sweat. Ball goes through, intercepted by the Villages. Gay centers out in front with a high kick. Guderi gets to it. And it's punched away by the Villages as they're playing just to keep it on the other side. Just a kick back over there, and now Steinman comes way out to play it for the defense, and now the offense. To Agu, fields it off his chest. Can't get by the defender, however. And off of SIMA, I believe, and it'll be a throw-in for the Villages. Right side of the box, working into the box underneath, and he goes down, and the ball goes over the end line. A frustrated SIMA team heads back the other way. Approaching our 115th minute, 5 minutes left on the second extra time clock. Time running out for SIMA. The Villages, the number 4 seed and the wild card team out of the Southern Conference, perhaps only 5 minutes away from advancing to the national semifinals. But SIMA still on the attack. Centers out in front, headed out by the Villages. And Macias, who had the goal here in the first extra time to give the Villages the lead, punched it ahead. Now Paiva. Paiva gets by his man. Races into the box. Paiva! It's stopped by Steinman. Graydon and Macias sliding. Macias gets up with it. Headed away by SIMA. Ball still in play, however, for the Villages. Less than 4 minutes now on the extra time clock. Guderi lost it. And Torres over there limping to get to the ball, and he finally goes down in a heap. Looked like he was battling the cramp, and he's still over on the sideline. Agu now just inside the box. Gets by his man. Agu fires, and it's blocked. What a save by McGlynn. Agu point blank, and McGlynn just got a piece of it as the ball goes firing through the box again and out of bounds. What a great opportunity for Elijah Agu, but the save by Timothy McGlynn to deflect it wide of the post as we now have 3 minutes left in the extra time clock, plus any stoppage time.
Substitution for the Villages. Coming off number 6, Gabriel Torres. Coming on number 20, Dylan Bartel.
So Gabriel Torres comes off, and Dylan Bartel on for the Villages here. Here in our second extra time. Approaching just 2 minutes remaining on the extra time clock, plus any stoppage time. Chipped inside, Kochikov. Oh, misfired, couldn't get a clean shot. He broke in and had a chance, and he just hit it off the side of his foot. Wild and off to the right. Approaching 90 seconds on the extra time clock. Graydon pushes forward for SIMA. And repelled by the Villages, who send them back to the mid-stripe. Outside the box, the chip inside. Kochikov couldn't get his head on it. He did, but he hit it the wrong way. He was right there in front, and he deflected it away from the goal. Forbes. Left of the box, Guderi chips in again and clears the box and out of bounds. But I believe a corner coming up here for SIMA. España will take the corner. Popped up into the air for play, and the Villages knock it out of there. Forbes comes to get it. Time winding down now. Steinman on this side of the field. Steinman will take a long shot. The goalkeeper up to the midfield stripe. SIMA running out of time. Forbes weaves through the defense and goes down, and a free kick is coming up for SIMA. SIMA right outside the box, about 3 yards outside it. We have completed extra time on the clock, and now awaiting word on how much stoppage time we're going to get here. Meantime, we've got a free kick coming up for SIMA, about 22 yards out and just a little bit off center to McGlynn's right. And Gay, who has scored already tonight, will take this one. Blast it through, and it's going to sail and curve off to the right. Still trying to get word from the fourth official as to how much stoppage time we have. But that shot by Gay that time sliced on him. And time running out on SIMA as the Villages SC, the wild card team, on the verge of winning the Southern Conference Championship. SIMA quickly wants to get it back in play. Time running down. We are in stoppage time. Repelled again by the Villages. Quickly the throw in. SIMA, knowing time of the essence, in dire need of a goal to send this to PK. Forbes. Jelani Forbes chips in there, headed out again by the Villages, and that is it! The Villages SC, the PDL Southern Conference champions, with a stunning 2-1 victory over SIMA. The Villages SC, the wild card team, the number 4 seed in the Southern Conference playoffs, knock off South Georgia Tormenta FC last night. And then tonight, SIMA Aguilas to advance to the national semifinals. What a performance by the Villages SC over the last 2 nights to defeat the top 2 seeds in the Southern Conference playoffs, and now they'll advance to the national semifinals next Saturday. In all likelihood, will be taking on Reading United FC, one of 2 remaining unbeaten teams in the nation. And Timothy McGlynn, what a performance by him and by both goalkeepers here tonight. That was the goal that was called off by the offsides, negated by the offsides call. And the winner right there by Macias in the 104th minute on the assist by Paiva. And a 2-1 victory for the Villages SC as they will take an 11-win, 2-loss, and 3-draw record into the national semifinals next Saturday. Hugs all around for the Villages SC as they have done a great job here in Statesboro this weekend, knocking off the number 1 and then the number 2 seeds. Congratulations to the Villages SC, the champions of the PDL's Southern Conference. I'm Matt Stewart saying goodnight from Statesboro, Georgia.